The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the QATV staff or board of directors. QATV, in compliance with FCC regulations, is prohibited from exercising control over the content of independent, member-produced public access programming.
Welcome to our Stay Focused. Our topic is insurance to protect your home. Here with me today is Soo Hoo. He is with Soo Hoo Insurance, and he's the vice president of the company. Sterling is going to be sharing different type of insurance to protect your home. So he is here to answer the questions about the topic. Welcome.
Calvin, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, and I'm excited to have you here as well. So, what is the homeowner insurance?
Home insurance protects the homeowner against financial loss of their most important asset. It also protects them against lawsuits that may be brought against them for things related to their non-business activities.
I see. So why should most homeowners or to become potential homeowners purchase homeowner insurance?
The reason you should buy home insurance, or one of the many reasons that you should buy home insurance, first of all, is that many people have a loan when they purchase a home. As you know, the cost of houses is very high, and not everyone can afford to buy it all in cash, so they end up getting a loan. And the banks often require you to buy home insurance in order to protect their investment, right? And as well as to protect you should you have a fire or some sort of loss that you may not have the money to pay for the repairs or the replacement of your house.
So in terms of deductibles, I mean, could they be varied? Could each insurance policy be varied?
Yes, there are many different levels of deductibles. In the past, the standard deductible was about $500. These days, with inflation and the cost of things and how stringent homeowners insurance companies are becoming on the number of claims that you file, we usually recommend taking maybe $1,000 deductible or even higher if you can afford it.
I see. So which way is better, higher deductible or lower deductible?
That's all a matter of personal preference.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of what make up the insurance policy itself, so what parts that make up the homeowner insurance policy?
Sure. So your standard homeowners insurance policy in Massachusetts consists of a couple different parts. The main part is the coverage for your main building, the house that you live in, that you sleep in. Then the second part off of that is coverage for detached structures, like a separate garage, or maybe a fence or a swimming pool, or if you have an outhouse or an outbuilding or something like that. And then also within that there is your coverage for your contents, your furniture, your clothing, your TV, your computers. Also included in that is what they call additional living expense after a fire. And what that will do is provide additional money to pay for a hotel if you have a fire and you can't live in your house, if you need to eat out instead of cooking at home. So it provides for all those extra expenses. And the part that I find a lot of people don't realize that homeowners insurance covers is the liability coverage. And that protects you if someone slips and falls outside of your house. It could also cover you if you're playing a sport and you injure someone and they sue you.
On the property?
No, off your property as well.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. Well, good to know. Yeah. So, and in terms of shopping for homeowner insurance, or insurance to protect the home, would the company be checking on the consumer's credits before buying?
Some companies do, some companies don't.
Okay.
Each homeowners insurance company in Massachusetts has their own way of doing business. They have their own type of house and property and location that they're looking to write their business in. So everyone is different in the way they do things.
Okay. And in terms of buying homeowner insurance, I know for a fact that a lot of new homeowners who just purchase a property, and they usually bundle their auto and also their homeowner insurance together. Why is that?
You absolutely have to.
Yeah.
You have to bundle your home and your auto together. It's the way to get the best rates. It also helps keep your insurance portfolio all in one place so that your agent or whoever you have running your insurance can keep an eye on both of those things for you.
And so that is a good way to save money.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So is good tips, and because a lot of consumers out there that they are unaware of it.
Right.
Even though they have the auto insurance, however, they went out and tried to shop for the best rate with another insurance agent or insurance company.
Right.
Yeah. So.
What a lot of people don't realize, though, is that it doesn't necessarily have to be same home company, same auto company.
Oh.
It can be one home insurance company, but as long as the auto is with my agency, I can still get you that discount. So,
Oh, okay. So it doesn't have to be the same insurance company.
correct.
Okay.
Not always. Some companies, like I said, all the companies are different,
Right.
but many of them will do.
Okay.
As long as it's in one agency,
Right,
you still get the
right.
discount.
Okay, it's good to know. And so during the homeowner who has homeowner insurance coverage, can the insurance company cancel their policy for some reasons?
Yes, there are a few ways that you could have your insurance canceled. One of them, of course, is if you don't make your payment on
Yep.
time. So when that
That's the
invoice
norm,
comes,
right?
send the check in. Right?
Yeah, right.
The other thing that they could cancel you for is poor condition of your house.
Okay.
Right?
Yep. So so those are the two reasons.
Those are your two main reasons that you would get a cancellation.
Right. And they can also not renewing the insurance the insurance policy as well.
Correct.
Okay.
Non-renewal is a little bit different than cancellation. Non-renewal, always happens at the renewal of your insurance, and it could also include reasons like poor loss history. Like if you had filed a claim previously, they may non-renew you. But cancellations, if you file a claim in the middle of your policy period, you cannot be canceled in the middle for that reason.
Okay. So it has to be at the end.
Right.
Okay. In terms of different factors that could affect the annual premium of the insurance policy, what factors that could affect the increase of, or the decrease, if there is a decrease, of the annual premium?
One of the main factors that a lot of people don't realize is how the year went last year in terms of the weather.
Yeah.
You and I both
Yeah,
know we had a
that's right.
horrible winter this
Yes,
year.
yes,
There was
yeah.
an amazing amount of claims, more claims than I think the industry has ever filed. And all that damage the insurance company has to pay out for.
Right.
So when they have to pay out more, they have to raise the rates more to build up the surplus so that they can pay out future claims.
Right.
So that's a big factor in it.
Is this the highest in the history that you have seen?
That's the highest that I've seen. It's the highest that I think a lot of people have seen.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we had the worst winter, right?
Oh, it was.
One of the worst, if
My
not
back still
the
hurts
worst.
from all the shoveling.
Well, I mean, take time to heal. So the next one is what is flood insurance?
Flood insurance is just that. It protects you against flood.
Okay.
The standard home insurance policy does not protect you against floods, earthquakes, mudslides. So you have to get flood insurance in order to do so. Flood insurance does not cover earthquake.
It's not covered.
Yeah.
So they have to get another separate policy for that?
Your regular home insurance should be able to add
Oh.
earthquake onto it.
Okay, good to know. And so when people shop for flood insurance quotes, I mean, do you look into different classes of flood zones, if you will, like X,
So,
E, something like
it's an
that?
excellent question. So flood insurance is largely run by the national government and the National Flood Insurance Program. And they have what they call FEMA rate maps or zone maps, and each area has a different zone. Some areas that they deem to be at a high risk for a flood loss in the next 100 years are in what they call like an AE zone or
VE,
VE
something like that.
or
Yeah, right.
you know what have you.
Yeah, that's right.
And the flood insurance will cost you more if you live in one of those zones. It will cost you a lot less if you live in, say, an X zone or a preferred zone. Those are your two good zones there. It'll cost you maybe, $500 if you live in an X. But if you were in an AE, it might cost you like $3,000. Yeah.
So, in terms of flood insurance, what were the instances that you have seen so far in terms of flooding? I mean, what caused flooding? Is it because of the snow or because of the rainstorms, because of Mother Nature, or I mean, how often have you seen flooding in a property? What caused those?
In Massachusetts, in our area, I haven't seen that much of it, but you would see it in a lot of other areas throughout the country. Things that could cause it could be heavy rains, an overflow of a river, things like that are the most common.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, in terms of flood insurance, if the owner doesn't live in the property, would the flood premium be higher?
Yes, I think
Okay.
this year, don't quote me on that. I know I'm on TV, but don't quote me on it. I think this year they just made an adjustment to the flood insurance program where if you don't live in the house, it will cost you a little bit more.
Okay, because of high risk, is that right?
Yes, in general, in home insurance, they usually look at it as if you don't live there, it's a higher risk than if you do live there. So the premium will be a little bit more.
Right. So, in terms of having flood insurance for a property in the flood zone, so if the owner, for some reason, doesn't have flood insurance, or if their flood insurance policy has been expired and they forgot to renew for some reason, maybe they're away or they're traveling or something like that, would the bank make them to have flood insurance?
So if you have a loan in your home, the bank, and you are in a flood zone, like an AE zone, the bank will force you to buy flood insurance.
At their rate?
Well, they'll force you to buy it. You can go get it on your own, right, through an agent like me or through direct through the National Flood Insurance Program. If you should let it lapse, which is to let your payment go, maybe you missed the payment or whatever, the bank will often buy you what they call lender-placed insurance or force-placed insurance by them. I strongly recommend against letting that happen. Oftentimes, if the bank buys it for you, it's more expensive. The coverage is not as good, and it's just not in your best interest.
So basically, mostly protect the bank.
Right.
So, in terms of condo insurance, I mean, what is the normal condo insurance that you usually bind?
So I feel like there's a misconception amongst most people about condo insurance, in that they believe that the association or the building's insurance will cover everything for them, when in fact it does not. As you know, condos all have a set of written bylaws, and within those bylaws it defines what the master insurance will cover or the association insurance will cover, and then what the unit owners have to get coverage for. Things that the unit owners may have to get coverage for include the walls, the furniture, also their personal liability. I recommend every condo unit owner to buy their own individual HO6 unit owner policy. Absolutely have to get one.
Okay, and they're not very expensive.
No, they are not very expensive.
Okay, is that depends on the coverage, or is it depends on the size of the unit?
The coverage matters. I find that the amount of contents that you have tends to affect the rate the most. Right?
Okay, I see. So the more coverage.
Right, the more stuff you have, the more it costs.
When it comes to like expensive paintings or stuff like that, antiques, right?
So things like that, like fine arts, jewelry, furs, unique or collectible items, you should tell your insurance agent about, because there's limited coverage for those on the policy. right? So you have to list those specifically when you do your insurance, especially jewelry and anything along those lines.
I see. And in terms of HO6, try to expand into more condo insurance coverage. Other than HO6, I mean, what other type of condo insurance that you have seen and work on, like HO3 or something like that?
So when you say HO3, HO6, there's usually, I think, maybe 4 standard home insurance policies in Massachusetts. The HO3 is for a freestanding house, right? The HO4 is for renters and tenants. There's an HO5, which is like an HO3, but a little bit better.
Okay.
And then the HO6 is for your condo unit owners.
Okay.
Most of your insurance companies will write one of these basic forms and then add their own additions and endorsements onto the policy to make it their own.
And let's go back to the HO3. Is that for detached townhouses or?
So a townhouse.
HO5, and they both related? Or?
HO3 and HO5 are almost the same thing. There's one little difference on the way that they cover your contents inside the house. But an HO3 is always for a freestanding house. That could be up to 4 families, but not too many companies will write a 4-family on an HO3.
Oh, okay.
Usually they only like 1 or 2 families.
Okay, I
Right.
see. So 1 or 2 family, those could be townhouses.
1 or 2 family could be a townhouse, sure. That could also be covered under an HO6. It all depends on how the building is incorporated or how it's really set up.
So with the past winter, and also with the weather that we had, in terms of protecting the property, what kind of tips would you give most homeowners in terms of how to minimize the damage of their home during the winter? I mean, do you have any tips for them?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest causes of loss that we had this year was ice dams and burst pipes. So some of the best ways to prevent against ice dam is to properly insulate and ventilate your attic. Get a licensed contractor to help you out with that. Also, when it snows, get a roof rake, shovel off your roof. By no means don't get on top of the roof. If you need that, hire a licensed contractor. Right? And for burst pipes, make sure that all the cracks in your house are sealed up. Just a little bit of cold air will get in and freeze that pipe right up.
That's right. Yeah. And also shovel the decks, right?
Shovel the decks.
Yeah,
shovel your area.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Good exercise.
Yeah. Shoveling is the way to go. So for potential home buyers, in terms of looking around and see, other than their agency, where can they find their local insurance agencies? And what are the ways of finding a good agency to work with?
So I feel like all consumer research these days begins on the internet.
Google, right?
Google,
it's the best friend.
but Google search is not research.
Okay.
Right? You should advance that onto something like Yelp. There's many consumers that have posted reviews, good and bad, about insurance companies and agencies. Also, the Division of Insurance website, the Massachusetts state-run site, can direct you to a lot of different agents in your area.
Okay. And what type of questions should they ask?
Ask of?
The agents.
Just ask about the service, what sets them apart from other agents, or why they should go with one agent versus another, or one company over another. A good agent should be able to explain the differences between 2 companies' policies, and as much as people think they're the same, they're not. Right? There's a lot of intricacies within each policy that an agent needs to take into consideration.
I see. So other than, should they ask an agent's going to be on TV or not, right?
Agents that are on TV, I hear they're pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's a good one right there. So, so should they looking for any credentials as well?
Yes, we have all sorts of different certifications within our industry. As you know, we're professionally licensed. We have to get X number of continuing education hours in each year. And beyond that, there's different designations like Certified Insurance Counselor, or CIC. There's Licensed Insurance Advisors, which is another license that a insurance producer can get in Massachusetts. And I think that shows another level of expertise and knowledge within the industry.
And based on, I know that just like any other businesses, some agencies are newer and some agency has been around for a long time.
For sure.
Would the length of business, would the length of time in business play a big role as well?
I think length of time is important, but it's not defining. Obviously, a business that's been around for a long time must be doing something right. But these days, insurance is always an ever-changing industry, and you have to be energetic and be on top of those changes, not only within the policy itself, but within technology and how things are delivered to the clients and how clients are serviced these days.
So how would you know, I don't know whether you can answer this or not, but I'm sure you can. So if a consumer were to shop around or talk to an agent, how would you know whether this agent is going to be a good service to them or not?
Well, I feel like a lot of people will talk to their friends or their family and get referred by them. If maybe you're new to the area and you don't have anyone who's familiar with the area, I think just the feeling that you get sitting across the desk from them or looking them in the face will tell you. Also, if you go into their office and you can see that it's organized, well run, I think that's a reflection of how they operate.
Right. So in a normal transaction, when a lender requires the buyer to obtain an insurance binder before closing, like maybe 1 or 2 weeks before closing, or even before the final commitment is issued to the buyer, that's when they contact you, right?
Usually, yeah. They've already figured out the house that they want to get.
Yeah.
They've already had their offer accepted on it, and then it's time to get the insurance on it.
Right.
And that's when they come, looking for an agent or looking for a policy somewhere.
Right. So in terms of the process, I mean, let's say if I were the potential home buyer, say, Sterling, I mean, I would like to get a homeowner insurance policy. So what would the first step, or what is the first step that you would do?
Well,
Come in,
right?
see me, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Come see me. Call me up, email me, get in touch with me.
Yeah. Okay.
And we usually start by collecting some information on you, the place that you're currently living, the place that you're looking to buy, and then we go through the details of the home, and then beyond that we go into some aspects of your life. Maybe you have some valuable items that you want to insure, or maybe you run a daycare out of your house, and we have a whole nother set of things to get into. So we try to learn about our clients, try to learn about where they live, what they do, and through all that, we're able to put together a comprehensive insurance package for them. That's the ideal result.
So when you set a premium, what is the premium based on? Is that based on mostly coverage, or?
So the premium is based on a number of different things. It could be where the house is, how big the house is, what type of features the house has, anything along those lines. How many claims that you filed in your insurance history, right? Whether or not you're going to do a car with us.
Right. Okay. Any mechanical stuff in the house as well.
Yeah.
Like how old are the furnaces in the properties, and
The
wiring or
condition of the house is important.
Right.
Very important these days is to make sure that your electrical system is on circuit breakers, and that it's at least 100 amps per unit, and it does not have knob and tube wiring.
Oh, I see. Okay. What if they do?
Knob and tube, there's not too many companies that will insure you if you have knob and tube wiring.
Okay.
And the ones that do usually will charge you a higher premium for it.
I see.
Yeah.
What if a home has 65 amps? I mean, would the insurance be higher as well?
Yes, if it's below 100 amps, the insurance company doesn't like that either.
Oh.
So it's in everyone's best interest, especially with the amount of electrical that we're using these days with our flat screen TVs. Everyone's plugged the computer in, coffee maker, microwave, all those things pull power out, the refrigerator. You really want at least 100 amps to make sure that you're not blowing fuses or having problems in the future. And the upgrade is really not that expensive, right?
Okay. You mean in terms of circuit breakers?
Correct. In terms of going from 65 to 100,
Right.
I know a number of licensed electricians that have done it. That's the price is very reasonable.
Okay. So in terms of, I'm on the same questions in terms of getting the homeowner insurance. So do you have to inspect the property before you issue a policy? Or?
Not all agencies will go out, and not all companies will come out to look at your property. We do like to take a quick look at your property from the outside. Usually if the house is good looking on the outside, it'll be well taken care of on the inside as well. Many companies, after the home insurance has been bound and you've moved into the house, will then want to do an inspection on the property as well.
I see. So that's required?
It's not required in all cases. It's kind of up to the company's discretion.
I see.
And if they do find any conditions that need adjustment, they'll give you an opportunity to fix that. They'll work with you on that.
So let's go back to the condo insurance, which is in this case H06. Does it, well, I would say does it, but do most insurance policies, I'm still on H06, cover from stud to stud or sheetrock to sheetrock, or how does it work?
So on an H06, you can buy just about whatever level of building coverage you want to buy, and that's largely defined by, or the amount of that is determined by what your master policy or your association policy will cover, and that's defined by your bylaws. And then second on that list is the size, but obviously if you have a 2,000 square foot condo, it's going to be different than a 500 square foot condo.
I see. So for most people who are interested in becoming an insurance agent, what recommendations would you give them?
Absolutely, it's a great profession. It's a lot of fun. The business is always changing. There's always a lot to learn, and it's really good when you can help someone out after they have a loss. In order to become an insurance agent, I would definitely look up massagent.com. It's the Massachusetts Association of Independent Insurance Agents. They'll get you on the right path. They'll help you out with getting your license. They provide a lot of studying. And you can certainly come see me. I would definitely talk to you about it.
Right. Great. And what other tips or advice that you'd like to share with the homeowners or to-be homeowners out there?
The to-be homeowners, come see Calvin and then come see me.
Good advice.
Right?
Yeah. So, last question. So, for most insurance policies that you have worked on so far, so is that getting the most business right now because of the market, or because of continuous clients or repeat businesses, if you will?
I think my agency generates a lot of business through word of mouth. We really try to do our best for our clients. We try to do as much as we can. We have a number of bilingual staff speaking Mandarin, Cantonese, Twisanese. And we're open Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock through 5 o'clock. We have digital file storage of everything. We're more than willing and able to do everything by email for you. We're always ready to serve. And I think that has translated into a lot of good word of mouth business for us. And we're also very, very highly rated on Yelp as well.
Which is good to know. Yeah. So, well, Sterling, I want to thank you for sharing.
Calvin, I appreciate it.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Very good information, by the way. So, having said that, getting the proper homeowner insurance to protect your property can go a long way, and also having proper insurance coverage will also protect your biggest investment, and to avoid any unexpected losses or accidents to your property. And I want to thank you so much for being part of the show. So long.